Welcome to today's myofascial moment. Today we're working with another of my favorite self-treatment tools. It's a Neuroball, a spiky little ball that's excellent for working with the feet. Now, we've already got feet and a Neuroball here, but when working with the feet, you want to find a place, kind of roll that ball along the bottom of a foot, either foot. Roll it along the bottom of a foot until you find a spot that's kind of hard, hot, tender, tight. This is excellent treatment for plantar fasciitis. Working with the feet can help knee pain, can help resolve hip pain, even lower back pain. When you find a spot that's tight, hard, or tender, you then want to just stop there and pause. Now, I know there are a lot of self-treatment modalities out there that are active rolling, active trying to massage tight tissues. Myofascial release self-treatment is a bit different. It's actually sustained pressure release. As we engage with tight areas of the body with sustained pressure in a way that's not perceived as force, tissues naturally start to rehydrate. Ground substance starts to rehydrate. Restrictions start to unstick, and tissues start to glide again. So we actually want to sustain pressure for a period of 3 to 5 minutes or longer. So with this, you want to make sure you have a good base of support, whether you're standing, seated, you might want a hand on the wall. You want to make sure you've got some good support here. You're going to be here for a few minutes. Now, there's no wrong place to put the ball. Again, this is about what your body uniquely needs. Many of us have tightnesses, stucknesses, rigid bones in our feet and in our lower legs. Where those are the first point of contact with the ground, that they do need to have some ability to move. Not a lot, but enough to move and absorb shock from our walking, from our hiking, our biking, our standing, our sitting, our activities of the day. We want our feet to be as soft and pliable and mobile as possible. So good self-treatment of the feet is a huge priority for me, as it does prevent and help with back pain, knee pain, and feet troubles, in particular plantar fasciitis. Wherever you are, sink and soften your awareness, your weight down over that ball, letting tissues change. Good myofascial release self-treatment is a consistent effort, a consistent practice. Do your best to take any work or sense of difficulty out of it. It should be easy. It should actually be kind of fun, and it absolutely should feel good and helpful. A little bit of myofascial self-treatment every day will accumulate toward a lifetime of good health, of movement in the body, of ability to do the things you love. Don't be in a rush here. Do be curious. What am I noticing in my body? What am I noticing in my foot, in my hip, in my knee, in the other leg? Simply file that away as information as we continue to self-treat. Gravity does the work here. Nothing really to do other than be patient and be curious about what's changing. And when you're ready, and if that area feels like it's done what it needs to, go ahead and roll around and find another spot under your foot, under the arch, under the ball, under the toes. Depending on your level of activity and what you ask your feet to do on a daily basis, there's going to be somewhere else that needs this. Again, when you find that spot, let gravity start to do the work. You don't really need to push into the ball. You don't really need to do anything other than soften through your leg, soften in your foot, curious about what this is doing in your body. And make sure you've got some good support. You're going to be here for a few minutes. We're not trying to roll or massage anything out. We're letting sustained pressure into an area of restriction start to naturally encourage a release of tension, a rehydration, a return of glide to the tissues, never forcing, so it never injures. Good time to bring awareness into your body, being curious about what you feel. I will admit to sometimes making my shopping list during this time, but I do my best when I am actually focused on some very specific self-treatment to keep my awareness in my body. It does make a difference as the mind starts to wander. We tend to either put more pressure or less pressure to the ball. We might start to drift into other activities in our mind mentally, and it really does help and make a difference to have your awareness here in your body as you're working with it. It's just 10 to 15 minutes. It's also always a good practice and habit to reset the mental busyness we tend to go through the day with. Quiet in your mind here. Slow your breathing. Notice where your thoughts go. Notice any stories you're telling yourself inside. Let this be easy. Let this be time for you, for some good self-care. And when you're ready, if you think there's one more spot in that foot, go ahead and roll around a little bit more. And this is using the Neuroball in its ball state. It's actually a really fun self-treatment tool because it's got a couple other functions. We'll let Kaylee here work with her toes. Excellent, excellent self-treatment for toes. We need mobility there. They need to be able to bend and flex. That's part of how we keep our balance. Without the ability of toes to move, everything else becomes rigid. If you are using a Neuroball, you probably know you can step on it and it will split apart, and you'll have two little halves there, which might be more suited to your particular toes. Kaylee looks comfortable with the full ball there. You can also use a tennis ball. Some people use a golf ball. It needs to be something you can soften over. I've known some clients to find it the perfect round rock for self-treatment, which is just awesome. There are all sorts of things you can use to work with your feet with self-treatment. The key is to be able to soften over whatever it is, never forcing. You're not trying to dig into tight tissues. That's a common approach to try and scrape or dig or break things apart forcefully. That's not what we do here. The body actually will protect when it feels like it's threatened. We want to work with what the body will allow. So this should feel like something you can breathe into, you can talk with. You're not holding your breath. You're not holding your body tight because of pain. You need to be able to soften. As you stay here, be mindful of your breath. It's easy for many of us to default into a shallow breath. Use this self-treatment opportunity as a time to deepen and slow your breathing, making it more full, yet somehow with less effort, slower, filling the spaces in your body that might be tight, expanding them with your breath and your awareness. As you can imagine, we then want to do something similar with the other foot. As Kaylee starts to explore that motion of the ball under the entirety of her foot, I'm going to guess it feels much different than when she started. So when you're ready, go ahead and switch feet. We're not going to do that here in this video. You know what to do. Push pause, restart, except do this for the other foot. General self-treatment, roll through the bottom of the foot first. Find a place that's tight, hard, tender, an area that instinctively feels like it needs some help. And then when you do, soften and settle over that area. You'll do this for each foot for 2 or 3 places. Make sure you've got some good support, either sitting, if you're standing, you want a hand on the wall, something so you're not using a lot of muscular tension to balance here. Creating space in the bones of the feet, easing tension in the tissues and the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, so that that first point of contact with the ground, with your world, can actually absorb shock as it's supposed to. This naturally improves the ability of everything above it to move well. So we're not just pounding our bones into each other as we walk and hike and climb and run and live life. That's today's myofascial moment. Let me know how you do. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to see us work with, shoot us an email, support@womensmyofascialofsaltlake.com, or leave us a comment here. Thanks for taking the time for some daily, consistent self-treatment. Your body will thank you. We'll see you next time.